know from the colonial era, right, that when white people were invented, the purpose was to divide and conquer, and that's exactly what it did, and white has served that purpose ever since, to divide people who share interests. And so this is how it's worked, and it has worked from the moment of its creation, its invention in colonial Maryland and Virginia, up into the present moment in these ways. Because this idea that we've learned through these, in a contemporary context, through toys and media and who we see as leaders and teachers, over 80% of public school teachers remain white, over 80% of lawyers remain white. In all these ways, we have this replication of white people as more important, more valued, smart, beautiful, etc. And so white people today continue to make choices out of this presumption of superiority to people who aren't white, even though so much of the time we are making choices that are financially, from a financial and humanistic perspective, actually harmful to us, right? So that we've traded financial well-being and our humanity for just not connecting with them, for dehumanization, and that presumption of superiority. So I win a claim of, hey, I'm superior, but we have lost so much. And I would like to share what I think are some of the most glaring examples of the loss of humanity that white people manifest today that is a direct result of institutionalized white superiority. If you think about, which I think that we have, our humanity is so damaged by white supremacy, institutionalized white superiority, and the evidence of it can be seen in the fact that that we white people, would be in the streets demanding change if rates of white boys and young men were incarcerated at similar rates to black and brown people. And we wouldn't be saying that something's wrong with them. We would be saying something's wrong with these systems, with this structure that is incarcerating, chaining, and locking away our boys. So I think that's some contemporary evidence of the fact that we don't have literally our hearts have been damaged. We cannot love in the way we as humans are meant to love because white supremacy has caused us to see a difference that isn't real. Another example, I think, of this is the way that we approach the opioid epidemic that we're seeing today. If you can recall the crack epidemic in the 90s, how did we respond to that? You know, it's their choice. They're making bad choices. They're using this drug. We all know that it's highly addictive and will absolutely ruin your life. Incarcerate them, incarcerate them, incarcerate them. And that's what we did. It solely approached it as a criminal justice problem. Now, today, with opioid use, what's the population that's utilizing that? Largely white, largely upper class. Now we have a heart. Now we can see the full humanity of people who are having lives and choices ravaged by addiction. And now how are we approaching it? The way we should have approached crack. We are approaching it from a healthcare approach, from a law enforcement approach, and from a more holistic human approach. We as white people show again and again and again that our humanity is defective. And what I mean by that is that we cannot feel the empathy and the full humanity of people who are not white. And I know that that comes from this weight of white superiority that is ingrained in all of us, regardless of your racial status, from the moment you're born.